Hello everyone, welcome back on another tutorial on how to solve the Rubik's Cube. In this video, I'll be showing you how to solve the cheat by 3 Rubik's Cube using the beginner method CFOP. Let's get started. So before we get into anything, one thing that you should know about the Rubik's Cube is that unlike what most people say that you have to solve one face and then the other and then the other, that's not true. What you're supposed to do is solve the one layer and another layer and then another layer. So technically you're solving a 3-layer puzzle instead of a 6-faced puzzle. Get it? Alright, let's scramble our cube. Alright, fair enough I suppose. Alright, our first step when solving a 3x3 Rubik's Cube using the CFOP method is to get a white cross on top. It doesn't necessarily have to be white, it could be any color, but for now, let me just do it white, and preferably you would start with me and do the same color as I'm doing. So how I get my white color cross is simply by bringing all the white edge pieces to the bottom, which is the yellow face, is opposite of white. So for example, like there's this piece over here, I just bring it down, and then I look for my next piece, there's one over here, I just bring it down, and I look for my next piece, there's one over here, I can also bring it down like that, and I bring this back in here, and I look for my last and final piece is over here. I could just bring it down like that. So you see, for this very particular step, right, you don't need to really know much algorithm and memorize anything. You just need to use some logic and deal with the scramble. It will be easy, just keep doing it for a while, you'll get used to it. And now our second step is to match those centers with the color of the edge piece. For example, there is a white and orange here, and there is an orange here. So these two are matching. I could now just turn it up and I will get it matching with the white color. Moving on to my next edge piece. Alright, it's already matching, green and green. I just move it on. For this piece, it's not matching. You see, it's white, blue, but there is red over here. It's not. So I turn my cube. It's not matching. I turn, it's orange, this is blue, it's still not matching. I turn, when they are matching, I move it up, and then that's how I get it over here. And I go for my final piece, this piece over here. I see it's not matching, this is red and this is orange, so I move it on. This is blue, still not matching, I move it on. Well, red and red, they are matching. I could now just turn it up, and I got my cross with all my centers solved. Now I've completed my first step. You don't have to worry about the corners, if there is one facing the top or not. It doesn't matter, because the corners is our second step. And so after we're done with our cross, we move on to the corners. So technically, when we are solving the corner, the whole time we need to flip our cross upside down. That means we hold our cross facing the bottom, and that's how we get to solve our corners. Our first step is, of course, find the corner and then look at what are the colors that it combines. For example, there is white over here, there's red, and there is blue. Well, once you see there is white, you know it belongs to the bottom. See white here? So when you see here now red and blue, I know that this corner is gonna combine a red and a blue center. So this, if it comes down here, it's not gonna work perfectly because this is orange and green. I need a red and blue. So what I do is that I move my corner around. Alright, now I have an orange and blue, still not matching. I move it around. I have a red and blue, red and blue. I know that this corners will fit here. This corner will fit here perfectly. And the algorithm to bring a corner from top to bottom without messing up my cross is this: R, U, R prime, U prime. You see, now I got my corner from the top to the bottom. Sometimes you have to do this algorithm a few times, and sometimes you just do it once or twice. But however, no matter how your corner is placed, you will never do it more than 6 times. That means when you're doing it, by the 6th time, it has to be solved by force. Okay, so we move on now to our second corner. There is a white, it belongs to the bottom. There is orange and green. This is orange and blue, it's not matching. I move it on. This is orange and green is matching. I need to bring this corner down here. I use the same algorithm again. R, U, R prime, U prime. You see now, although it's down, however it's still not in the right position. My white is supposed to be facing the bottom. So I just keep doing it again. R U R prime U prime, R U R prime U prime, R U R prime U prime, R U R prime U prime. I got my corner on the bottom. And now I just move on to my other corner, which is right over here. There is white, orange and blue. I see there is red and green. I know it's not matching. See there's red and blue. It's still not matching. I move it on. There is blue and orange. Blue and orange. I know this corner belong here. And I do the algorithm again. R U R prime U prime. I got my corner on the bottom. And now my final and last corner. As you can see, it's nowhere to be found on top. That means it's at the bottom. And it's not in the right place, and I just need to do the algorithm again. Just where it is, I just hold it and R U R prime U prime, R U R prime U prime, R U R prime U prime, R U R prime U prime. I got it on the bottom. Now I just want to show you a special case. Alright, you see in this case, right, your bottom is completely solved, but your corners are wrong. This corner was supposed to be here, while this corner is supposed to be here. The simplest way for beginners to get these two corners is simply by bringing this corner up and putting it down in this side. And technically, it's just by bringing any other corner on top to the bottom. For example, this or this, I just do the R U R prime U prime move. I got it to the bottom and I got this up, which is over here. Now I can place it wherever I want, and I just take it down using the same algorithm again. I got it to my, I got it to the bottom and I took out this. So now I move it onto here and I bring it down. You see, just by doing the R U R prime U prime move, I got to move my corners up and down and around the cube. It's very simple. It's just R U R prime U prime. Alright, let's move on now to our second layer, which is known as the second layer, and this step is called the F2L, which is the first two layers, which is this layer. Right, let's go. Alright, so now that we are done with our first layer, we can move on to our second layer. And our goal in this layer is in this step is to get the edge pieces that connects these two centers, or these two centers. For example, I want to get this piece that is over here, and it should be a combination of green and red. So after I will go around, I will look for it. So I found this piece over here. It is a combination of green and red. So once I got my edge piece, my first step is to match it with the center. For example, I can put red and green together, although at the end of the day it's gonna fall in here, but for it to be in the right position, I have to match it with the center. So this is what I mean. So once I match it red and red together, I need to determine. You see now my edge piece is moving on, is gonna drop to my right hand side. So my algorithm, my first move is to move this piece away. And so the algorithm, when you're moving away to the left hand side to drop a piece on your right, is like this. U R U prime R prime. You turn your cube 90 degrees following your white color corner, and then you do this. U prime L prime U L. This is how I slot my edge piece in. So let me show you another example. For instance, over here I have orange and green. So first I get my edge piece. Okay, I found it, it's over here. Second step, I match it with the center, green and green, and then I see that it's gonna drop down to my right hand side, so I'm moving it to the left. So the algorithm is like this. U R U prime R prime. I turn the cube 90 degrees, and then again U prime L prime U L. And so this is how I slot that in, and then I move on for my next edge piece, which is blue and orange. So my first step is to find that edge. Alright, I found it, it's over here. And so now I match it with the piece. Again, it's dropping to my right hand side, so I'm going to the left. So it's U R U prime R prime, 90 degrees following the white color corner, U prime, L prime, U, L. So now my last and final piece, which is this piece, and I already find it, it's already over here. So my next step is to match it with the center, red and red. But now you see it's gonna drop to my left hand side. So my first move is to be moving the edge piece away to my right. So now the algorithm is the same thing, but starting with the left hand side, left hand. So it's gonna be like this: U prime, L prime, U, L. Now then I turn my cube 90 degrees following the white color corner, and then I go U, R, U prime, R prime. And this is how I solve my F2L. Alright, just before we move on, I want to show you another case. Another two cases actually. So the first one is like this: when you have an edge piece that is correct, however it needs to be flipped. So in this case, what my goal is to take this piece out and then replace it back in the right way. So to do that, I can pick any edge piece on top, bring it in, take this out, and then put it back in the right way. Let me show you. For example, I pick this edge piece or this edge piece. I can pick any. And then since this edge piece is going to the right, it's gonna drop to the left. You see I'm holding it like that, right? If let's say I'm holding it like that, then it's gonna be dropping to the right. And you can do whichever you want as long as you're gonna get this piece out. So for example, it's gonna drop to the right, so my algorithm will be moving away to the left. So it's gonna be like this: U, R, U prime, R prime. I turn 90 degrees following the white color corner, and I go U prime, L prime, U, L. As you can see, I've gotten out my edge piece. All I have to do is find it. It's over here. So now I just bring it back in like any normal piece. So my first step, I got the edge piece and then I match it with the center and then I slot it in. So it's gonna drop to the right. My first move is moving away to the left. So the algorithm is like this: U, R, U prime, R prime, 90 degrees following the white color corner, U prime, L prime, U, L. And this is how I solve it. Now the other case is this, where you have two edge pieces. There are no more edge pieces on top, they are both at the bottom. However, your second layer is still not solved. That's to say that some edge pieces are somewhere else on the second layer. So as you can see here, my edge piece, this edge piece is supposed to be here, and this edge piece is supposed to be here. Sometimes it can even be diagonally. That means this is supposed to be here and this is supposed to be here. It doesn't matter. It's all the same way. So for me to solve this case now, for a beginner method, all I have to do is take this out, take this edge piece out, put it in here, take this out and put it in here. So it's the same method again. I can pick any edge piece from the top. For example, I pick this. So now, and I can start with either one of them. So let's say I'm starting with the blue and orange edge piece. So this piece is gonna drop to my left hand side. Hence my first move is moving away to the right. So the algorithm is like this: U prime, L prime, U, L, 90 degrees following the white color corner, U, R, U prime, R prime. And so now that I've gotten this piece out, all I do is find it. Alright, now that I've found it and it's already matching, I just slot it in here where I can bring this piece out at the same time. So now it's dropping to the right hand side, and so the first move is moving away to the left. So the algorithm goes like this: U, R, U prime, R prime, 90 degrees, U prime, L prime, U, L. And as you can see now, I've brought the orange and green piece out of here, and so now, yeah, it's already matching. All I have to do is slot it back in. So it's dropping to the left, so the first move is moving away to the right. So it's gonna be like this: U prime, R, U prime, L prime, U, L, 90 degrees following the white color corner, U, R, U prime, R prime. And this is how you solve your F2L. You should have no problem with this now. This place might be a little bit tricky, so if you have any question, comment it down below and I'll try my best to answer your questions. Okay, so now that we are in our last layer, we have 4 main steps to do. Number 1, which is making a yellow color cross. Number 2, which is aligning the corners in the right place. Number 3, making all the yellow stickers of the corners to face up. And number 4 is putting the edges in the right place. Alright, so our first step, as I said, is the yellow color cross. And usually when making a cross, you get 3 cases. Number 1, which is a dot. Number 2, which is an L shape. And number 3, it is a and the third one is a bar. It's just simply a bar, and I'll be showing you 3 of them. So when you have a bar, you want to hold it diagonally this way, and then you want to go F R U R prime U prime, and you go F prime again. You got your yellow color cross. And when you have an L shape, you want to hold it when it's on your bottom right corner, and you want to go a wide F, which is moving these 2 at the same time. So I go wide F, R U R prime U prime, and I go wide F prime again, which is moving these 2 at the same time. And then last but not least, which is the dot case, is simply you can hold it in any direction. You just go F R U R prime U prime, and when you get back, you will find out that you have an L. So when you get the L, you hold it on your bottom right corner. This L, you hold it at the bottom right corner. You go wide F again, R U R prime U prime, and wide F prime. And that's how we get our yellow color cross. Now our second step is a bit more tricky but simple. All you need to do is get the corners in the right position. What I mean with that, as you can see here, there is orange and green. However, this is green and red. This corner does not belong over this place, so I move it on. This is orange and green. This is orange and green. Now I know that this corner is in the right position. It's in the right place, but it's in the wrong position. Why? Because the yellow has to be facing up. So now I move on to my next corner. I see this is correct, and I move on. This is correct is because it's green and red. Doesn't matter if the yellow is on top. It could be like this one. As long as it contains the stickers which are the same like these 2 centers, then I know that it's in the correct place. Moving on, I see that this 2 is in the correct place because it has blue and red. Blue and red. That also tells me that my last corner is correct. Sometimes you can have something like this. As you can see here, now if I should align these corners, for example, this is orange and green, I bring them here, I found out that this corner is actually not correct because it's a combination of orange and blue. This is red and green. This corner is wrong. I move on. This is red and green. This is red and blue. This corner is wrong. I move on. I see this is red and blue, while this is blue and orange. This corner is also wrong. So I can conclude that I have one correct corner and 3 corners that has to be placed again. Now in a Rubik's Cube, most especially the 3x3, you can never have more than 2 incorrect corners. It's either 2 correct and 2 incorrect, or all of them are correct. So to prove that, if you can see here, if I should turn my cube this way, I'm gonna have 2 correct corners and 2 wrong corners. Look, there is red and blue, red and blue. This corner is correct. I turn it, there is red and green, red and green. This corner is correct. There is orange and blue, orange and green. This corner is wrong. There is an orange and green, orange and blue. This corner is wrong. So as you can see, I have 2 correct corners and 2 incorrect corners. The 2 incorrect corners could be adjacent and diagonal. I'll be showing you both cases. So this algorithm, you obviously know that you have to swap these 2 corners. And the algorithm to swap the corners for a beginner method is simply by doing R U R prime U prime, R U R prime U prime, R U R prime U prime. Technically it's R U R prime U prime 3 times, and then since I'm doing it with my right hand, I'm swapping it like that. I turn my cube 90 degrees this way. I started like this, and then I just turn it like that, and I'll go L prime U prime L U, L prime U prime L U, L prime U prime L U, and all I have to do is rearrange my corners again for like that. Yeah, orange and green, orange and green, orange and blue, orange and blue, red and blue, red and blue, red and green, red and green. So now all of my corners are correct. And so let's move on to the adjacent swap. So in this case here, I'm having an adjacent swap. I'm having an adjacent swap. As you can see, I have orange and green, orange and green. This corner is correct. Over here, I have orange and blue. This is red and green. It's completely wrong. Moving on, I have red and blue, red and blue. This corner is correct. I move on, I have red and green, orange and blue. This corner is also wrong. So my conclusion says these two corners are correct. However, these two corners are wrong and they need to be swapped. So the algorithm to swap two adjacent corners, first of all, I have to put one of the incorrect corners on my right hand side. So I can start like this because these two corners are correct, and so this correct corner is on my right hand side, and I can do it this way. So if I turn my cube, this is an incorrect corner. You see, it's red and green. This is orange and blue. It's incorrect and it's on my right hand side. So now I can do my algorithm easily. And the algorithm is F R U U prime. Yeah. So it's F. Alright, let me do it again. So it's F R U R prime U prime R U R prime F prime R U R prime U prime R prime F R F. And as you can see now, I have orange and blue, orange and blue, orange and green, orange and green, red and green, red and green, red and blue, red and blue. So I have swapped the two corners adjacently. Yeah, and now all I have to do is move on to my next step, which is making all the white stickers to be facing up. And while doing this step, I want to hold my cube upside down so that my yellow color face will be on the bottom. And then it's very simple. I just need to pick an incorrect corner. What I mean with incorrect corner, that means that a corner which has the yellow sticker somewhere on the sides and not on the top. That means it could be like that. You see? In this case, I'm having two correct corners. So I can start over here. I need to pick an incorrect corner. So I shall continue from here. I just pick any incorrect corner and I do this algorithm. R, U, R prime, U prime. I just continue doing it until the corner is solved. R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime. And when it's solved, I don't just stop there. I move on to my next spoiled corner, which is this. And then I continue the algorithm. R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime. As you can see, I've solved all my yellow color stickers. Now for this algorithm, you don't really have to do it much. It's always gonna be less than 6 times. By the time you reach the 6th time, it should be solved already. It won't even reach up to 6 times. And so that's how you do it. Let me show you one more time. So for example, over here, this is a correct corner. I can start with it. So once I flip my cube upside down, I pick, let's say this is an incorrect corner, and then I just do the algorithm. R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime. When I'm done with this corner, I move on to my next corner and I continue again. R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime. And I continue with my next corner again. R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime. And this is how I solve my top color stickers. So when we are done solving with our top face, you're gonna end up with something like this, where you have almost the whole cube solved except for the edge pieces. And sometime you're gonna have a bar where there's one edge piece that is already solved, and sometime it won't. So don't worry, I'll be showing you both cases. So for this kind of case, I need to determine where are my edge pieces moving to. For instance, there is a red edge piece over here. If I move it over to this side, it's not gonna match, it's gonna be red and blue. However, there is a green edge piece over here, and if I bring it on to this side, it's gonna match, it's gonna be green and green. So if I can determine one edge piece, like how I did just now, the whole cube will be solved. So now my conclusion says that this edge piece is going that side, and I will solve the cube. So since this edge piece is moving on to that side, I'll be starting with my left hand, that side, the hand on that side. So the algorithm is something like, it goes like this: L prime, U prime, L, U, R, U, R prime, U prime, and I just do the reverse of that. So it's gonna be U prime, L prime, U, L, U, R, U prime, R prime, and that's how I solve it. And sometimes as you can see here, now I'm not moving my edge piece over there, I'm moving this edge piece over here. Why? Because it's a blue color edge piece, and I want to move it to the blue color face. So technically my edge piece is moving that side now. So now I'm doing it with my right hand. You don't have to worry, it's just the same exact thing but with your right hand. So it's like this: R, U, R prime, U prime, L prime, U prime, L, U, and then I reverse that again: U, R, U prime, R prime, and this I reverse it to U prime, L prime, U, L, and that's how I get my edge piece in the right place. And now for the other case, where you have none of the edge pieces being solved, is something like this. As you can see here, none of my edge pieces are solved. I don't have any bar. And so for this case, I can hold my cube anywhere I want. I could hold it like this, or like this. And I can also start with any hand I wish. If I want to start with my right hand, I can. If I want to start with my left, I can. So let's say I pick this face and I'm going to start with my left hand. Then I'll just go L prime, U prime, L, U, R, U, R prime, U prime, and I just do the reverse of that, which is U prime, L prime, U, L, and I reverse this again, U, R, U prime, R prime, and I just go and look for my solved bar, which is over here. You see, now they are still not solved, however, now I'm having a bar. So, and you know how to deal with the bar now, right? All you have to do is look where the edge pieces are moving to. So I see there is a green face over here, and there is a green edge piece over here. So this piece is moving over there. Hence, I'm starting with my left hand. So it's gonna be like this: L prime, U, U prime, L, U, R, U, R prime, U prime, U prime, L prime, U, L, U, R, U prime, R prime. And that's how we solve the 3x3 Rubik's Cube. Please, if you have any questions, comment it down below and I'll be happy to try my best to answer your question, maybe in other videos. Maybe I could create special videos to answer like how to solve or get faster on the Rubik's Cube. Please subscribe so that I can give you more videos, and thank you so much.